place your concealer is completely dependent on your face shape. So you could copy somebody else's, but I think when your makeup really pops is when you know your face shape and how to like accentuate that.
Yo, girl, that's the secret. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Temi if you're new here, and welcome back if you've been here before. Today we're gonna be talking about makeup and how to get a skin-like base. Yeah, we love when our makeup eats in pictures, but we also want it to eat in person. So these are just a few of my tips and tricks for darker tone babes, for playing around with your complexion, techniques when you're using different types of brushes and certain products that might be helpful, and just some overall tips for getting that cohesive skin-like base. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so to get started, I'm gonna use this Youth to the People Superfood Air Whip Moisture Cream. Yeah, I've just started using this recently, but it is so moisturizing. Any kind of moisturizer that, you know, is very hydrating, do. And you know what works for your skin to kind of do that, but we want to keep her moisturized, hydrated. Okay, I did my eyebrows off camera. We're going to use, I used the e.l.f. Power Grip, the pink one that has like niacinamide and stuff in it. I like that one better than the green one, but to each their own, like whatever. I just find that it works with my skin type better. I don't know. Okay, so getting into this base. First of all, want it to moisturize, then your primer. Now for whatever like skin complexion product you want to use. I'm into skin tint. I do have a foundation, but it's in my summer shade, so I will not be using that right now. But I recently got the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Tint. This thing gives skin. This thing gives skin. It really does. Look, what I do is I'm gonna put it on my skin, directly on my skin. This is quite a bit, I'm not gonna lie. And then, to be able to give like a nice like skin-like base for your makeup, your tools are pretty important. So I have the Sephora tools, the Sephora brushes I think are amazing. So I have the number 70 Sephora brush, the foundation brush. So good, I love her. What I do is I'm gonna spray my face. I have the Charlotte Tilbury, and then I'm also gonna spray my brush a little bit, and then we're just gonna blend her in. If you don't have this exact brush, any like small, compact, you know, stubby brush should work. Because what it does is that it like keeps the product where you want it, so it's not going to spread it too far, but it like pushes it into your skin, so like you're actually getting product in your skin. I'm on the lookout for like medium to full coverage foundations because I generally don't have any, but a skin tint works good for me, and the overall product looks bomb. If you're also trying to like go for like a level up with like your overall makeup look, that's when your powders and like how you use your powders is going to make a difference. Like I feel like powder is the big determinant in like making your makeup go from skin like cute, she's looking cute, to like, oh, like this is a full beat type of vibe. Okay, and make sure you take it like down, like here, and like blend it out into your like edges a little bit so you don't look crazy. Blending your product in can honestly take a while, because first of all you want to like blend it in so it's like on your skin, but then you need to blend it so it's like actually blended, so it's so it doesn't look it's just like sat on your skin, but like it is one with your skin. So it takes time. Just take your time, enjoy the process, watch a movie, watch a YouTube video, hop on FaceTime, I don't know. just be aware that you want it to look chef's kiss. You're gonna have to have some patience. Okay, second step, concealer. This is gonna be like a full beat, so I am gonna do 2 shades of concealer. My first shade is so this is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is in Deep 1 Cafe, which is like a shade or 2 lighter than my regular skin tone. So this is my initial concealer placement. I feel like how you place your concealer is completely dependent on your face shape. So you could copy somebody else's, but I think when your makeup really pops is when you know your face shape and how to like accentuate that. I think I have more of like a triangular face, almost like my chin really just comes here. So I kind of follow that. You're basically putting the concealer on your high points, right? And these are my high points. We're gonna let her sit for a second. And I will be picking up the concealer again, multiple times. I'm gonna bronze right now, and this is my favorite makeup product I think ever. And like I ride for her like no man's business. Like the NARS bronzing cream. This is in Laguna 05. Literally has never done me dirty. I'm gonna do the same thing. This brush is, I think it's a Morphe brush. It's so old, it doesn't say anything on it, but something like get something a bit angled and kind of dense so you can pack the bronzer. I wet the brush as well. Well, not wet it, but you know, damp it a little bit. I actually kind of treat my bronzing like contour. I don't contour, I just bronze. Contour is very, I don't know. I stick to bronzer. I don't necessarily contour, but I kind of put it in the same place that I would my contour. It works for me. So I'm just gonna put it like kind of just below my cheekbone, is it? Right here. And then on the perimeter. And for some reason, I like dab the product in. I don't like draw it on. I don't know why. I've just always done that. I'm gonna continue to do it. And at this part, I'm literally just like, this is the initial part. I'm literally just like tapping it onto where, I'm just placing it down. I'm not like blending or anything. I'm just doing a little dab to place it. Then I do along my jawline as well. This is why I said that like I kind of treat it like contour, because like you're not really supposed to put bronzer down there, but I found it to work for me. It does a really good job of like adding dimension without it being too cold. I think my thing with contour, especially for my skin tone, is that it becomes a bit too cold for my liking. Like it took me forever to even find a bronzer that showed up on my skin, which is crazy. So yeah, anyway, this is what I found that works for me. I know that it might be a bit weird considering bronzer is supposed to be like a warmer thing, and putting it on your jaw sounds a bit weird, but it has worked for me. Place it also around my nose and then drag it down a bit. Then I just pull it out to like my eyelid-ish to be a bit more precise. I'm just gonna... Now, picking up my initial concealer again, I'm gonna put her right below where I put my bronzer for like a reverse contour. Okay. Just there. Cool. This is the initial placement. I'm gonna take my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. This isn't Flawless Filter, sorry. Oh, it's Flawless Setting Spray. I'm gonna spray this on my face. And we're gonna get into some blending. For my concealer, I use the Sephora 71 brush. It's the concealer brush again. I also spray my brush a little bit. Now blending the concealer actually takes a while as well. If you want it to, you know, actually turn out well. I kind of leave the inside till last, so I like conceal everywhere around that and then work my way into the inner corner. It's best to like tap the concealer. You're literally just tapping it, which is why it can take a little, like it can take a while. You don't want to like drag it or anything because it will most likely show that you've dragged it, and that's gonna take away from like the skin-like finish. Just tap it very gently. And then when you're around here, you want to like take it up again. You're tapping it up. It's gonna help like kind of lift your eyes a little bit. So for my bronzer on my forehead, I'm gonna blend it towards my hair, basically. Like not towards my forehead, towards my hairline. And it's not too much work because I already kind of dabbed it to put it in place. But then around here, around my cheekbones, I'm going to blend it upwards. And when I say blend it, I mean like, kind of like, not push it upwards, but I'm still dabbing, but it's more so oriented this way, not downwards, not this way, this way. I feel like it helps sculpt your cheekbones in the warmest and most subtle way possible. And then with the concealer that's been sat there, she's been sat there waiting for her turn, it's going to make the most beautiful reverse contour. Oh, you ain't even ready. And then for the bronzer or contour that you've put on the jawline, you want to blend that downwards, like towards your neck. I think the best way to think about it is like, what's gonna be the most flattering way to blend? When you're down here, you wanna blend it into your neck, right? Because you want it to be seamless. When you're up here, because we have a reverse contour here, we wanna blend it up. We're not trying to like make it dissolve into the contour, because then that wouldn't work. You know? I don't know if that makes sense. That's how I think about it. Okay, for the bronzer that I put elsewhere, I just look for a smaller brush to blend it. To do a little bit of a bright under eye, I go in with a concealer that, this must be like 3 to 4 shades, maybe 3 shades lighter than me. This is the medium dark 2.5 chestnut in the NARS Creamy Concealer. And I'm just gonna put a little bit there. I'm gonna let that sit just for a few minutes. While that sits, this part has not been properly blended out, so I'm just gonna like tap along the line that like, this is between the concealer spot and the bronzer spot. I'm literally just tapping along that line to make sure it's like nicely blended. Same on the other side. I just put more concealer on the reverse contour part because she'd been sat for a while. She was kind of dry. I'm gonna take a bigger brush actually. This is the Real Techniques 206, which I don't know what it's actually meant for, but oh, it's a contour brush. Great. I'm just gonna dab, 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 dab. I think this is the part when people are like, oh my God, what's going on? Trust me, trust me, trust me. Okay. It looks a little crazy, but it ties the whole look together. It gives you those nice cheekbones. And it gives you dimension. Like if this is like for an event or something, this is the kind of makeup that it's gonna show up on camera. And obviously it's gonna look like you're wearing makeup, but it's gonna look like that in a good way. Yeah, like you can see that it's lighter here, and that's fine. Like, it's okay to see that you're wearing makeup. It's not a crime. Do not be afraid of product. It is okay. Okay, so I've blended her pretty well. And she's just gonna sit. Now let's go back to our friend up in the concealer zone. Blend her out. And for this one, because it's so bright, I just wanna try and keep her where she is. Not trying to spread her too far. Literally just trying to keep her in this corner. Spraying your setting spray or like a mist in between each step, I think it sets every layer that you're doing. Like it makes a huge difference with the final product, and it allows everything to blend really, really nicely into each other. So you're not waiting until the last moment for everything to like to mix nicely. You're doing it at each step. Okay, so this nose part we will be blending out to diffuse some of the lines up here. I take my sponge, wet her, and just go into this area so that everything blends in really nicely. So this is what's gonna help with longevity, the powders. So I use Maybelline Fit Me powders. They have never failed me personally, and I use my tool of choice, powder puffs. Jaeger powder puffs. Okay, so because I highlighted this like middle section, I'm going to use a lighter pressed powder. This is the 310. And I'm literally just gonna use that on the very, very, very inside of my eye. Okay, and then for everywhere else, she has been used. I'm using 355, it's coconut in the same pressed powder, just a little bit darker. And I'm putting that everywhere that I put concealer, so. And around my nose. On my nose. On my chin. And on the reverse contour area. So we're looking a little bit powdery, but nothing too crazy. I'm gonna use my spray again. To bring some warmth back into my face, I'm using the NARS, like guys, I use mostly NARS for my complexion. The NARS bronzer, the powder bronzer. This is in Laguna 08. This time I had to make sure she was dark enough for me, okay? And I'm using the Sephora brush number 88. It's the Pro Bronzer brush. And then I put that everywhere that I put my cream bronzer. And she just warms me up in the cutest way possible. Like, don't play. When I'm putting my powder bronzer on, I also like push it up, if that makes sense, on the cheekbones. But weirdly enough, when I do my forehead, I put it forward. But when I did my cream bronzer, I put it into my hair. I don't know the reason for that, but it works. For me, anyway. If you find that that doesn't work for you, then definitely do it into your hair. I feel like the powder one, it helps blend out the powder that I put on my concealer area too, just to like make everything blend into one seamless canvas, you know? When I put my powder bronzer on my jaw, I do it the exact same way I do the cream bronzer, like kind of blending it down into my neck. Okay, and then also on the Yo. Okay. To take your makeup to a higher level, you wanna do pressed powder first and then a loose powder. That's the secret. That's the secret. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. What? I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me loose finishing powder in number 20, which is light medium, which is quite bright. Yeah. I'm gonna take my powder puff that I used. I have two powder puffs. Let me differentiate. This one is for like the concealer that is like 1 to 2 shades lighter than me. And then this one I use for the lighter stuff, just so that I don't mix the colors. I'm gonna take this, take some, oh God, that's a lot, on my powder puff. And then you have to dab it into your hand because you don't want to put that much on your face. And then I'm gonna put it in the corner right here, kind of line a little bit. And then I'm gonna do it right here, just to like lift my eye. And I'm also dabbing when I'm putting this on. I'm just dabbing it in. I'm not dragging it. When I'm going for product, I'm just gonna go to my hand because that has extra product. The other place I'm gonna put it on is my reverse contour area. Very light. I actually might need more. No, that actually might be. No, we're gonna do a bit more. Ooh, that might have been a bit too much. That's okay. Like I literally just put it where I put the pressed powder. I'm dabbing it in so it's not too light. Now, I don't want it to look too ghostly, so I'm taking my foundation brush, which is honestly, it's a bit too stubby, but it has my foundation color on it, so I'm just gonna go in. Maybe I'll use this actually. I'm actually using my blush brush to take the product off. I think a bigger brush would probably work better, but none of my big brushes have any product on them, so it doesn't really help. Like I'd rather use a brush that has some product on because then it helps blend it into the canvas. Whereas if you use a brush that doesn't have any product, I mean, it's taking the excess product off, but it's not necessarily helping blend it in anymore. Before I finish up, I just spray the big side of a sponge. And if you feel like there's like lines that you're not too happy with. Okay, and then so that's the base done. Then I take the One Size mattifying spray. This thing is almost finished and it's definitely sold out. I need to be saving this. But it is good to spray quite a little bit. She is very aerosol-y, very aerosol-y. So this is the base. I like to add little dots. Especially when I have pimples, because I just think they're so cute. So cute. This is the final look. A little close up. Yeah, so those are the few tips I have for getting that flawless base. Not only just for pictures, for in person as well, because girl, we want to look hot in the pictures, but we also want to look, you know, cohesive in real life. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, don't be afraid to put product on your face, please and thank you. Yeah, you can definitely tell that I'm wearing makeup. That's because I'm wearing makeup. I'm not trying to hide the fact that I'm wearing makeup. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's not be scared to do that. You don't have to use the exact same product. I mean, if you use the exact same products, you will get probably a pretty similar result. But as I've said before, makeup is to enhance your own beauty. So play to your face and not to somebody else's face. The products are helpful. Use what makes sense for you. Like your skin type might be different. Like for instance, the e.l.f. primer, I like the pink one. It just sits better with my skin, but I know a lot of people like the green one. To each their own. But I do think that your tools are important, just as important as the actual makeup products that you're using. So play around with techniques. And yeah, hope you enjoyed that little tutorial. See you next week.